Welcome to Canada's podcast.
I wear a few different hats as CFO.
Whatever hat CFOs like Imran need to wear, Sage's tools and insights can make sure they fit. Sage, helping business flow.
Hi, this is Cynthia Lockery with Canada's podcast, where we talk to entrepreneurs who are making it happen across Canada. Today, I'm joined by Mark Hickman, Managing Director of Sage in Canada. Sage is the leader in accounting, financial, HR, and payroll technology for small and medium-sized businesses. With over 20 years of leadership experience, Mark helps empower colleagues, partners, and Canadian businesses achieve growth through creativity and innovation. So welcome, Mark. I'm glad that you could join us today and just give us some insights in what Sage does and how it helps businesses. So why don't we start with just you giving us a quick overview of Sage and the kind of companies your team usually works with?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Cynthia. It's greatly appreciated. So Sage is a 40-year-old business that started in the UK that is now a global business, a very large software business. We have over 2 million customers globally. And what we do is provide accounting, financial, payroll, and HR solutions to small and medium businesses across our country here in Canada. We have a very large business with a few 100,000 customers.
Wow. And what makes your accounting software different from some of the other major players in the market?
One of the things that we're doing at Sage that completely differentiates us in the marketplace is, number one, we play in small and medium. A lot of our competition plays in one or the other, but we have an ecosystem that fits all of those businesses. And one of the things we're doing is we're building out what we call a digital network. With 2 million customers globally, what we're able to do is take that data and wrap that around this ecosystem, which allows organizations to easily interface across this network, including automating simple, more mundane processes for accounts payable, accounts receivable, etc.
Yeah, it really is about the automation that helps us small business owners. Enough on our plates.
Yeah.
So what strategies can Canadian small and medium-sized businesses implement to leverage technology effectively and drive growth in their business?
So we just finished a large study globally that was small business, big opportunity. So we polled a whole bunch of businesses across the world, including about 12 to 1,500 in Canada. And what we discovered is what's facing small business is this increased pressure on costs with inflation, which is quite worrying, right? So what we're seeing in the Canadian marketplace is organizations adopting technology to offset these costs by using automation and streamlining their digital transformation.
So technology can be a bit overwhelming for some business owners. So what do you see as the top reasons why Canadian small and medium-sized businesses should be adopting technology?
A few things. I think in the Canadian marketplace, there's, as I mentioned, there's cost pressures, but there's also a real shortage of people. As we can see, we're letting in a lot of new immigrants as we try and boost our population because our workforce is diminishing over time. So what we need is to automate processes to enable these businesses when they can't go out and hire people. And also it frees up their people to do more strategic tasks, right, which allows their business to grow and scale.
And are there any emerging technologies that you think businesses should adopt in particular to help them to grow?
I think in the marketplace at the moment, what we're seeing is a big buzz around AI, right? We've seen ChatGPT and everybody's getting excited and everybody wants to buy AI. I think what a lot of people don't really understand is AI has been intertwined into technology for quite a while. For instance, at Sage, we have AI ML built into a lot of our platforms, right, which enables organizations to, for instance, automatically read invoices and then automatically put them in the general ledger and then automatically pay them, right, seamlessly without any human ever touching them. But that's all driven by that AI technology. But it's not like you're buying AI, you're really buying the Sage accounting platform, but it's got it embedded in its uses.
And so we're hearing that there is a bit of positive outlook for Canadian small and medium-sized businesses. What are some of the top factors that are contributing to this positive outlook we're seeing?
That's a great question. I think in Canada, we've been almost willing a recession. We've been talking about it now, I think, for probably the last year. Q4, we finished flat, which meant we didn't go into recession. We stayed at 0% growth. And then in Q1, we actually had some growth. So I think what we're seeing in the Canadian economy right now is stability, even though we have pressures such as inflation and interest rates. These factors usually would push us straight into recession. We've also got full employment, as I mentioned before, with a workforce that's constrained, needing more people. So all these factors put together means that businesses are still bullish and are still growing in Canada, significantly better than in other parts of the world.
And so we know you've touched on it already. Recruitment and retention is a really big issue for a lot of businesses right across the country. With the increasing demand for talent and the evolving job market, how can technology help Canadian businesses both attract and retain these precious skilled employees?
That's a great question. A lot of people that use our technology are obviously CPAs, accountants. And as you mentioned, this is an incredibly highly evolved environment of skilled people that have passed their exams. And what we're seeing is like more and more now, they're becoming rare commodities. There are very few CPAs. We actually met with the CPA Association of Canada recently, and they were telling us that they're trying to actually do things like invest with Hollywood to make accounting seem like a more sexy type of a job vocation. So we don't have enough accountants to do the work. Also, accountants want to be using the best technologies on the market, right? They want to have their skills upkept using the top solutions. So I think from organizations like ourselves, it's critically important to deliver the best solutions into market, right? To enable these people and to retain this talent for our firms and businesses that use our technology.
Yeah, I can definitely see that firms that are using the cutting edge technology, it's really going to help with taking that load off of the staff.
Exactly, and I think that when you're staff constrained, taking that load off and work-life balance, right? We live in a very different time now than we did, say, 10, 15 years ago. People expect to have a work-life balance. Not everybody wants to work 12, 14 hours a day. So having technology take on some of those tasks to make people more productive, I think is something that all organizations are looking for.
Yeah, and I think your talented individuals are looking for companies to invest in those solutions for them instead of them trying to always figure it out.
Absolutely. And that's what we saw in our study that we put out. We saw that Canadian businesses are investing in net new technologies. About 48% of Canadian businesses say they will be investing in technology in the next 12 months. So this is showing that the Canadian businesses are looking to invest in technology to improve their profitability, but also scale and grow.
And can you share an example of a Canadian small or medium-sized businesses that has effectively used your company's technology to kind of overcome challenges and achieve growth?
Absolutely. One of the organizations that we partner with is the Canada Games. So as you may or may not know, the Canada Games is an event that is held every 2 years across the country that brings together young athletes to compete either in the winter or summer. It varies every 2 years, one summer, one winter. So we've been partnering with them for a while, and they were using one of our older technologies, Sage 300, and we just migrate them to our latest cloud platform, which is our Intact technology, Sage Intact. And what they're able to do is really streamline processes that used to take significant amounts of time now take significantly less, but it really gives them the ability to run reports and analytics and really fine tune how they're spending their money to ensure the success of the games as they bring together. I was at one recently in Prince Edward Island, and it was incredible. There was like 20,000 plus athletes. It took over the whole of PEI, the excitement. But to do that effectively, you have to keep your finances in order. And using technology like that, streamlines those processes, needs less people, and delivers the reporting that they need to make sure that they're running a cost-effective event.
Yeah, and I was involved with the BC Summer Games. And so I know how complex and how, technology would definitely, like yours, would be an asset when you're trying to juggle all these balls.
Absolutely, it is. No, you hit the nail right on the head with that. So yeah, we partner with Canada Games, and we just signed a long-term agreement with them as we continue to work together to ensure the success of the games.
Great. I love that organization. And are there any specific initiatives or collaborations your company is involved with to promote the growth and success of Canadian small to medium-sized businesses in the digital area?
Absolutely. So we have very, very strategic partnerships across the country, people that resell our technology into their customer bases. And everything that we actually put into the cloud actually runs on Amazon, AWS here in Canada, right? Which is one of the largest cloud providers on the planet. So we work together to ensure that Canadian organizations have their data stored in Canada. They're just actually bringing up another location out in Calgary, so then they'll have a backup center in Canada as well, which is unique in our space. That Canadians want to host their data in Canada, right? They don't want it going across into the U.S. or other places. So being able to partner with somebody like that, provides a high performant, always on platform in Canada, and being able to back up and recover that in Canada is critical for Canadian businesses.
So what are some of the fears, and maybe it's not fears, maybe it's that resistance that you see small and medium-sized businesses to make the shift to the newer technology and the newer platforms?
I think a lot of it is fear of the unknown, right? People get comfortable in the technologies they're using, and we've had customers using some of our technologies for a long time as well. And these technologies are great technologies, and they're easy to use. But as we saw during COVID, when everybody had to go home, the cloud becomes a very necessary component, right, to doing business in 2023. And the way that the cloud has evolved now to be just seamless in the way that we all work, including this call we're doing on Zoom, another perfect example. I think the ability to see these collaborations and this digital transformations of things like finance, but other areas of the business, HR and payroll, as well as applications that actually run your business, depending on what kind of vertical business you're in. But there's usually an application ERP you use to run your business, and then you actually manage the financials of it with a technology like ours. So putting all of these things into the cloud and wrapping them makes business significantly easier to manage. And I think as we move forward, more and more people will move into the cloud and continue to do that. But from a small business perspective, a lot of people are comfortable and they don't think they have to. But I think more and more what we're seeing is people embracing this and moving with it.
I wear a few different hats as CFO.
Whatever hat CFOs like Imran need to wear, Sage's tools and insights can make sure they fit. Sage, helping business flow.
Does it seem to be generational, or is it more of just of people's comfort?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of it is generational. I don't think you'd see many Gen Zs not embracing cloud type solutions. But I also think that what we're seeing and what we're doing at Sage is we're taking some of our solutions that have been in the market for a while, and then we're wrapping them into the cloud so they feel like cloud solutions. So you really wouldn't realize that you're not in the cloud, right? Even though it does have a footprint on a desktop. So I think there's many ways that organizations now are helping with this digital transformation and allowing organizations to leverage the investments they've made.
And have you heard any stories or any comments from people who've made that leap and now they're on the other side and kind of, whew, that wasn't as scary as I thought?
Oh, yeah, I think that's a very good way of putting it. I think, we deal with organizations when we implement our technology and they come back and I can't believe that used to take me like 2 weeks of solid work, and now I can do it in like an hour. And those kind of time savings are huge. And it's that fear of this massive implementation that's going to take forever. And it really doesn't, right? It's really more about understanding your business, understanding your processes, and then working with you to implement that solution that fits your business. And I think once people get over that first hurdle and the technology is implemented, the value it delivers to the business is exponential.
Yeah, and I think that's it, is a lot of people have this misconception that this is going to be this huge project and it's one more thing to take on. And I'm a small business owner and I'm already stretched.
Yeah. And they don't realize that it's actually going to save them time, save them money, right, and enable them to do significantly more things with their finances in our case than they could do before. So I think once people realize what it can do and see the case studies and actually work with the organizations and implement it, it's really something, and it allows the biggest thing for the cloud to me is this integrations into other technologies. It's not just standalone, right? In the old days, everything was kind of standalone, especially in small business. The enterprises used to run big, tough integration projects, but in small business, everything was siloed. You had your CRM over here, you had your accounting over here, you had your HR over here. Now, all of a sudden, with the advent of the cloud, you can integrate all these. They're all seamlessly connected, right? So I think that having them all connected is huge for small business. Being able to take your finances and your accounting system and then run payroll and then give T4 slips and pay slips and run all your HR and your expenses, and it's all seamlessly back and forth. You don't have to do anything. It's all integrated. I think it changes the way that people do things, and I don't think people really realize just the impact that would have on a small business.
Yeah, absolutely. Because in small business and medium-sized businesses, you've really got to have a handle on that cash flow, and you really got to have a handle on what's profitable, where your money's going. And
Absolutely.
this seems like just a much easier way to have
Yeah.
you're on it.
Yeah, I think you're hitting on something again that we saw in our study. It was that cash flow in Canada is significantly doing better than it is in other places in the world, which says to our economic stability. But I think it also says that Canadian organizations are using tools that enable them to manage their cash flow better. So I think that cash flow is king in a small business. You have to understand your cash flow. It's what keeps your business alive and afloat and allows you to make investments and grow. So, understanding that cash flow at every stage is something that's critically important, and that's what solutions like Sage do.
And as we look ahead, what developments or advancements in technology does Sage anticipate significantly impacting these businesses in the future?
Well, as we touched on before, I think AI is game changing, right? People are likening it to the advent of the internet. We live in a world now where we couldn't imagine living without the internet. And AI is something that is rapidly going to evolve, and it's going to change the way we do things. I think it's going in what we do for a living in that accounting financial space, HR, payroll. It's going to automate those mundane tasks, those data entry tasks, those bill paying tasks, those invoicing tasks, all those things that take so much time or so manual in their processes. And it will just take all of those away and automate them all and seamlessly integrate between all of the systems as it's doing it across your business, which will then leave, I think, free up people to do the things that are most important to the business, which are those strategic things, right, that enable a business to grow and position itself. So I don't think humans are going away, but what we see at Sage is, as I said earlier, our digital network, which will be this ecosystem of data that'll allow businesses that use Sage and don't use Sage to seamlessly plug in and allow business to flow across all these different places. If you're paying your electricity bill, if you're paying your gas bill, if you're paying your telco bill, all of these things, whether you're a small business, a big business, if you're paying a supplier, it will all seamlessly throw through the network. And it's all because we're able now to process such large quantities of data in real time.
Mm-hmm. And what are you most excited about in the work that you do with your clients? Is there anything that really sparks you?
Yeah, I think in my career, I've worked at big enterprises like a Sage, but I've also worked at small businesses and startups. And I think there's nothing more exciting than seeing a small business do well and grow. And nothing makes us happier than at Sage is when a customer is using one of our small business products, and then they migrate to a medium business product because they've outgrown that small product, right? Showing that growth, and we like to feel we had a small part in that. But yeah, I think that's what drives us at Sage is enabling businesses, knocking down barriers, which allows them to flow, right? And the data to flow as they grow. So yeah, working with Canadian organizations and seeing them grow is very satisfying for us.
And there has been a lot of growth, right?
Yeah.
And is there any advice that you would give to small or mid-sized businesses owners that are listening today that's a good nugget they can take?
Yeah, I think don't be afraid of technology. Don't be afraid of change. Embrace technology, embrace change, and it will enable your business. And it'll allow you to focus on the things that are going to grow your business and scale your business and take away those tasks that are more manual and more menial, and give you the ability to manage your costs and your cash flow, and do this in a seamless way across your business and across your ecosystem of partners.
That's really good advice, because I know someone said to me once, get out of your own way, get the help you need in the areas that are not your expertise. So it frees up your genius in areas that is your expertise.
Perfectly said. Yeah.
So what lasting changes have you seen in how businesses leverage technology and plan for growth in a post-pandemic environment? So, here we are, we're on Zoom that we weren't really using in 2019. Is there any other legacy pieces or changes that are positive that have resulted from the pandemic that will continue?
Well, I think just the way we work, I think you're hitting on something there with Zoom and Teams, and also hybrid working in offices, people working remote. How do you interact in that world? Right? You can't go. People don't go door to door and go face-to-face meetings all the time. We still do some of that, and some of that is starting to come back. But I think what we've seen is a complete change in technology, a complete change in the way people interact, the necessity of having solutions that you can access remotely. If you can't go into the office, can you still manage your business? Can you still check your financials? Can you manage your cash flow? Can you pay your suppliers? Can they pay you? I think all of these things have totally changed. And, the pandemic was something that is a once in 100-year type event. And I think it would be very naive to think that it wouldn't change the world forever. But I think that moving forward, I think technology adoption has been significantly sped up because of the pandemic.
Yeah, I would definitely say, and some positives too, right?
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to share with our listeners today?
I would like to say that here at Sage, we're very, very excited about the Canadian economy and our Canadian business. And we feel that Canada is one of the fastest growing places in our marketplace at Sage, one of our fastest growing countries. And we are going to continue to invest. And we look forward to working with Canadian businesses, small and medium, and that ecosystem of partners. And we look forward to delivering the technology that is going to enable these businesses to grow and scale.
Well, I think that's great, especially as a small business owner. So thank you for sharing some insights. And it's really some new thoughts on technology and AI, and it doesn't need to be so scary.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Contact us at info@canadaspodcast.com.